This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Good evening and welcome to the Mini Dome on the campus of Shelton High School for the opening game of the 2017-2018 South Sound Conference Girls Basketball season on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC. I'm Diedrich Allen, and you are watching the Maple Glen Senior Living pregame show. Tonight we get to see the Shelton Highclimbers host the Capital Cougars in SSC action. Shelton comes into tonight's game with a 1-1 record. The Lady-Climbers lost their season opener at Mount Tahoma 49-45 last Thursday, but flat-out crushed Hoquiam Saturday 66-21. Capital has won their first two games, 58-47 over Hoquiam a week ago yesterday, and a 62-33 stomping of Aberdeen last Friday. Cougars' 2 wins this season are one short of the win total for last season. Speaking of last year, Shelton took both games from Capital, but the Cougars lead the overall series, only losing 3 games to the Highclimbers since 2007. Will Shelton come out on fire as they did Saturday and win this conference opener, or will Capital make it 3 in a row? We're just minutes away from finding out. Coming up on the Maple Glen Senior Living pregame show, we talk with Shelton coach Aaron Leth. It's the South Sound Conference Girls Basketball season opener, the Capital Cougars at the Shelton Highclimbers, next on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
This broadcast on Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is being brought to you by Hood Canal Communications, keeping our community connected, and Maple Glen Senior Living, celebrating the art of life.
There's a lot going on these days at Maple Glen in Shelton. Maple Glen has a Sunday brunch, open to the community with free admittance when you schedule a tour. What a great way to learn more about this beautiful senior living community. Maple Glen Senior Living, located just 20 minutes north of Olympia at 1700 North 13th Loop in Shelton. They're just feet away from the hospital, medical professionals, and pharmacies. Contact Teresa Gilman at 360-427-0300 to learn more and schedule a visit to Maple Glen.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Emerging science indicates access to high-speed internet during the school years can lead to positive outcomes, including, but not limited to, streamlined acquisition of data, academic achievement, career advancement, satisfying relationships, cuter children, joy. Our scientific conclusion? Call now and get the HCC Internet and Voice Bundle for the everyday low price of $44.95. Call today and save.
If you are interested in how our local government works, Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, gives you the opportunity to watch our elected officials in action. Every Tuesday, you can watch the Mason County Commission. These live broadcasts air at 9 a.m., except on the 4th Tuesday of a month when the County Commission meets at 6 p.m. You can also watch the County Commissioners online at your leisure or tune into a rebroadcast on Hood Canal Communications local channel. Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is the only place to find this type of in-depth coverage.
You've seen the sign, keep right except to pass, but did you know it's the law? Camping out in the left lane makes you a slow-moving safety hazard. Moving to the right improves emergency response time and helps reduce collisions and traffic jams. Allowing faster-moving traffic to pass is always the best choice. Use the left lane to pass slower-moving or merging traffic, then return to your lane. Remember, keep right except to pass.
And welcome back to the Mini Dome. Diedrich Allen at the top of the stands in the Mini Dome, opposite the scorer's table, their usual position, a little bit to the north of this year than last year. It is time now for the coaches' show. And I did have a conversation with Shelton coach Aaron Leth. I'll stand by for that here. Oh, always the good thing to start out. Okay, stand by. We do have the coach here in a moment. Let's try that. Here's Shelton coach Aaron Leth. Coach Aaron Leth, how many seasons have you been with the High-Climbers?
Seventh season. Seventh season. Yeah.
So this year's squad, a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, you know, we brought everybody back, and we lost 3 seniors, but we have, I don't know, 7 returning, and then I brought 2 up. 1 from JV last year, and then we have a transfer with Kylan Powell. She was off the Mount Baker State 1A team last year, moved back down here, and we're excited to pick both of those girls up.
Talk about your core that you have returning. I mean, Timberware, everybody knows about Timber, but you still have Katie Johnson, and she seems to calm things down when she's out there.
You know, Katie's really matured over the last year, and you know, she was our starting point guard. I think the last 5 games of the season last year, showed poise then and really showed it all during the spring, fall, and summer, and just did a really great job for us. And you know, it's tough as a point guard because really you're the one on the floor that everybody looks to kind of command everything. And as a coach, I'm the one that really gets after her if something kind of breaks down or if I need something done. And so she's done a great job filling in that role this year, and she's doing great.
Let's talk about your big ladies, the size that you have a little bit. Kayla, doing what she did last year?
Yeah, Kayla, you know, what's great about Kayla is all of our girls played ball all through springtime AAU teams, and then came in and we played in some Tumwater leagues and went to team camp and really turned some heads. And, you know, some of our girls that are seniors right now, they got some college coaches looking at them, but Kayla's special. She has put in the time, and she's just she's a beast underneath, you know. When we need rebounds or, you know, putbacks, and she runs the floor so well. She runs the floor like a guard, and her trailing up behind our fast breaks, she gets a lot of free buckets that way. People don't pick her up, so we're really excited about having Kayla on the floor.
We can't go without talking about Jasmine Griffin at all. I mean, I watched her for the first half on Saturday, and she was just about everywhere, and she always had a ball in her hands, no matter who had possession.
Yeah, Jazz is, you know, she's another one. I mean, hands down, athletic ability, probably the most athletic we have on the team. I would say probably in the top 5 in probably our conference, and probably top 10 in 3A right now. Is just extremely fast. You know, her lateral speed is phenomenal. She's starting to kind of understand her role, and we want speed, but at times we got to kind of slow things down and slow the pace down, and she's fallen into that perfectly. I think she had 5 steals last game, but to add to that, I think she had 5 assists too. So she's not afraid to give the ball up.
Now you have a Gooley back in your lineup, Taya Gooley. That's one of your new faces this year.
Yeah, Taya's something special. We've been looking at her. You know, last year she came in and ran the point guard position for us in JV, and you know, I see her being our point guard of the future, which is really nice, having her kind of back up Katie a little bit, see kind of the role that she's taken on and how I want things done and how we run things. And the great thing about Taya is she's a scrapper. You know, she's not very big, but she'll get in and scrap with the best of them, and she can shoot extremely well from the outside as well.
Jordan Peterson, I was always impressed with her last year, and she's still impressive.
Jordan's one of those players where you go out and you watch, and her defense is phenomenal. I always tell her that she has hands like rattlesnakes. You know, nobody sees it coming. It just gets you out of nowhere. And then how fluid and just how she can get to the basket and create and just lay balls in, and it just looks like there's no effort whatsoever. And her court vision is phenomenal. I mean, the way she passes the ball is probably one of the better passers on our team.
Now let's talk about Lexi Moon and Deshea Littleson a little bit. Now those young ladies, they have similar movements when they're out there, but they play a different game.
They do. Deshea likes to play. Both of them can sit outside and shoot the 3. Deshea actually had the highest 3-point shooting percentage on the team last year in 2016-17, and she can stroke it from the outside, which makes her really hard to guard because inside she's not really tall, but she's a big body and she knows how to use it. She has great post moves. Her passing is hands down probably one of the best post passers we have in league. But again, can go outside and shoot the 3, so bigger girls don't want to go out and guard her. They have a hard time. Lexi also can shoot the 3. She has a great little jump shot inside about 10, 12 feet. She has good skills. She's a big body, and when she gets inside, she's mean.
Mean in a good way, right?
Mean in a good way, yes, of course, yeah. You know, she's not afraid to go in and bang around, and her rebounding, she's worked so hard this offseason. She probably had one of the best tryouts she's had in the last 3 years this year, and I'm really proud of what she's done in this offseason.
Now, you talked a little bit about the newcomer to your program. Is it Kylan?
It's Kylan Powell.
Yeah, what does she bring to the team?
Well, Kai can play all 5 positions. She's one of those players that she's 5'11". She's agile. She can run the floor extremely well. Her athleticism is pretty dang close to Jasmine's. She has great jumping ability. She's averaging 10 rebounds a game right now for us. Points haven't been there, but I'm really still trying to figure out where she belongs in our program as far as, you know, where can I put her to score the most points, and she's still trying to figure out the program. And, you know, it's game 3, and so we'll see what happens, but she has a great shot. She can shoot the ball from 3. She can go inside. She can drive the ball. I think she's still a little timid on, hey, this is a new team, and maybe I need to distribute the ball more, and I'm keep telling her, you have the opportunity to score, put the ball in the buck.
Now let's talk about your first 2 games. Saturday was, you know, self-explanatory. I mean, I watched half of it, and I was told that it was done within an hour, so that was Hoquiam. What about Mount Tahoma? That was a little tougher.
You know, Mount Tahoma, we went in and we played Mount Tahoma the last 4 years, and we beat them all 4 years. And we went in, and their big gal, she's 6'5", so they put her down underneath the basket. And I think we were just timid. My post even said, hey, Coach, we were timid, you know, after the game. We just didn't attack like we should have. And when you shoot 18% from the three-point line, and that's your shot of choice for most of the game, it's hard to come back from that. Now, you know, we were up by 8 or 9 points in the first, and then we got down by as many as 12 and called timeout in the fourth, talked to the girls, and, you know, the officiating at Tacoma's tough. Sometimes you don't get calls you want. And I just told the girls, let's stop focusing on officials, let's start focusing on our game, and we went on an 11-0 run. We just had some breakdowns right then. Last 2 minutes of the game, basically spotted them 10 points on turnovers and losing them in our press. And, you know, we lose by 4. The girls were upset. I wasn't upset. You know, everything we do, if we lose games early, that's fine. Let's learn by them. Let's change our mistakes, you know. And I pushed the team and I said, you know, our word for Saturday's game was focus. Are you focused? Are you ready to go? Show me what you can do after bouncing back from a loss that we shouldn't have had. And we came out and it was 25-5 first quarter against Hoquiam. So
now tonight you get your South Sound Conference play started against Capital. They're 2-0, but they're, you know, beat Hoquiam, beat Aberdeen. What can you tell us about the Cougars here tonight?
Well, you know, we play the Cougars 5 times during the summer and spring and fall, and they're a good team. I mean, Joe does a good job with them, taking over for Colleen, and the one thing about them is they're scrappy. And we know some of their players personally live here in the Shelton area, and, you know, they don't ever back down. So it doesn't matter if we're up. We've been up many times this summer, up by 25, and we win by 10. And so we know that once we're up, we just can't stop. It's full throttle. We got to keep going and not back off because we know they're going to try to come right back at us.
Will we see a similar thing as you did against Hoquiam?
We can always hope so, Diedrich. You know, I don't know. It's just game play. You know, we shot phenomenal 56% from the floor, 50% from the three-point line against Hoquiam. It was just amazing numbers. If that happens, then it's a possibility, but it's how the ball bounces.
All right, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Shelton coach, Aaron left there. It's now time for starting the lineups. There you go. Katie Johnson, Timber Ware, Jasmine Griffin, Kylan Powell, and Kayla Garens, the starting 5 for the Shelton Highclimbers. For the Cougars, you see it's Ashley Adams, Reagan Henry, Nicole Linda Bloom, actually, Hannah Chamberlain, and Callie Kaufman. Those are your starters for tonight. So that's Johnson, Ware, Griffin, Powell, Garens, Adams, Henry, Lindblom, Chamberlain, and Kaufman for the Highclimbers. We're about ready to get this thing underway as the last of the starting lineups are being announced here tonight. And your PA announcer is, as always, Jerry Apple. We will We'll be back with the tip-off in just a moment. As this is Mason Web TV.
There's a lot going.
Powered by HCC.
There.
Hold on a second here. Let's get rid of that. All right, now we're rocking here. About ready to get this tipped off. I think we'll just keep it right here. As the teams are meeting with their coaches. Always problems with the first few games, folks. Guess I could have got in a 30 there. About ready to get underway. Thanks everybody for checking us out. This is Mesa Web TV powered by HCC, and HCC is Hood Canal Communications. So Powell will meet Linda Bloom. Highclimbers in their home whites. The Cougars are in the road reds. Tip is a 1 by the Highclimbers. Back to Garens, and here comes Katie Johnson. That's over to Jasmine Griffin. She'll drive baseline, and there's a whistle, quick little foul on the Cougars. And Henry picked up her first. It'll be baseline inbounds for Shelton. Inbounds nearly to midcourt to Jasmine Griffin. Now it's Timber Ware. Take an open 3. Off the back of the iron. Rebound pulled down by Kaufman. And then here are the Cougars. Kaufman up top. Side of the paint. And a steal. First turnover of the ball game for the Cougars. And here come the Highclimbers. Jasmine drives in, draws a foul. And the second team foul on the Cougars will go on Henry. That is her second personal. At the line for 2 free throws is Jasmine Griffin. Oop, that one popped out.
Jasmine Griffin to the line, shooting a second attempt.
Second one, that one also popped out. Rebound pulled down by Powell, it looks like. And that will be knocked out of bounds by the Cougars. It will be a Highclimber ball baseline inbounds. A substitution is Kyra Ashton for Capital. Katie Johnson will trigger the play, looking for somebody. She'll throw it in. Quick 5, and that's the first turnover on Shelton. So it will be Cougar ball. First quarter action, no score, 7:16 to go. Inbounds is Adams. Little full court press by the Highclimbers. Kaufman with it in backcourt. Trapped at midcourt, throws it still in backcourt. And Adams had to track it down, throws it back to Kaufman. They haven't got it across midcourt yet, and there is 12 on the shot clock, and there was a foul crossing midcourt on the Highclimbers. Johnson picked up her first personal. So it'll be sideline inbounds for the Cougars in front of the scorer's table. Inbounds goes to Adams, and she'll bring it across the timeline. Hand it off to Ashton. She'll drive to the foul line. Now that's Lindblom. Drive to the foul line. Bounce it down. Nice find, but the shot is short. Rebound and the putback comes up short by Chamberlain, but there's another foul on the Highclimbers. Timber Ware just picked up her first personal. The line for a couple free throws is Hannah Chamberlain. She missed the first one, she'll get another one. Still no score, 6:39 to go, first quarter. First one, or second one rounded in, so it's 1-0 Capital. Here come the Cougars. Katie Johnson quickly up to Timber Ware, right to the hoop. Oh, it popped out. Rebound and putback by Garens. Throw up the court, knocked out of bounds. They'll say it goes went off of a high climber. It will be Cougar ball near sideline inbounds. Adams will trigger the play. Ball will not go to Kaufman. It will actually go to Lindblom. She'll try to turn around but can't. And a steal by the high climbers. Garnes came up with it. Up to Johnson. Katie bounces it, trying to get to Powell. It goes off of her hands out of bounds. So 2 turnovers apiece on each team. 2-1 Shelton leading. Capital with the ball in their back court. Ashton will get it in to Adams. Bounce it to Kaufman. Still in back court. Put across, and there is Ashton to Kaufman at the foul line. Now there's Lindblom to the paint, had the ball stripped, and here comes Powell throwing it up the court to Johnson. She'll lay it off the glass and in. Katie Johnson with her first bucket, and it's a 4-1 lead for the high climbers. Pressure, more pressure, and Griffin steals it, finds Ware. Timber will turn around and lay it off the glass and in. 5-point lead now for the high climbers. Cougars trying to get it in. And it goes to Chamberlain. Chamberlain gets it all the way up to Ashton. Ashton trying to get a pass to Lindblom. It's knocked out of bounds, kicked out of bounds actually, by the high climbers. It'll be Cougar ball on the baseline. Oh boy, we had a quick little technical foul on the Cougar coach. Wow, he was trying to get a timeout and couldn't get it. And then we have a 2-shot free throw coming. Now they're going to meet at midcourt and discuss this. So we had a technical foul on the Cougar coach. Looks like Timber Ware is going to shoot a couple of technical free throws. .5:20 to go here in the first quarter. Now we're still discussing. And I guess now they'll get let Timber do the free throw, technical free throws. As Kappa coach is still talking with the referee. Timber hits the first one. She'll get another one. Got them both. Give her 4 points, and it's an 8-1 lead for Shelton. And it'll be high climber ball after the technical foul. The question is whether it was a 30 or a 60. Had to be a 30. Jasmine Griffin will inbounds it below us. And they'll we still have a delay in action here. This is the mini dome in Shelton, and the inbounds from Griffin to Johnson, and here come the high climbers. Over it goes to Powell, to Garens. Now here's Timber Ware. Timber takes advantage of the screen, doesn't take a shot. Throws it to Griffin on the baseline. She'll drive baseline, put it up, miss it. Powell with a rebound. Put it out to Johnson. Johnson over to Ware. Ware for 3, top of the key. Nope. Rebound, slapped by Ware. Tracked down by Powell. Into the corner. Nice find by Jasmine Griffin. She found Kayla Garens right there. Lays it off the glass and in. And a steal by Griffin. One hands it to Ware. Ware attacks in, puts it up and in. Timber with 6 points. It's 11-point lead early for the high climbers. Still all over the Cougars of the high climbers. Coppin with it. Gonna bring it up the court. Far side on the dribble. Nice pass, extra pass down to Lindblom. Out to Adams. Adams just inside the arc, missed it short. Rebound goes to Powell. Powell out to Ware. Timber on the run on the far side. Gonna go right to the hoop, lays it up. We gotta get the foul on the floor on the Cougars. 14 fouls on Capital. And a personal foul went on Ashton, her first. And let's see, we had a substitution there. Inbounds to Jasmine Griffin. Griffin off the back of the iron. Rebound pulled down by Lindblom to Kaufman. I'm sorry, that's now Kaufman. Ball knocked out by the High-Climbers. Angelica Francisco is the new player on the court for the Cougars. And she'll get the ball near midcourt. That's Kaufman with it. Hooks it down. Nice little two-player play, but the jump shot falls off, and Powell comes away with a rebound. There's Ware. Top to Johnson. Johnson will set the play for Shelton. Over to Powell. Powell will lob it across court to Jazz. Jazz drive the foul line to Powell. Extra pass over to Timber. Timber with 10 on the shot clock. One dribble up top to Jasmine. Griffin back to Timber. Timber Ware for three. Yes. And a full timeout has been called. High-Climbers up 15-1. 3:20 to go here in the first. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
Other TV providers force you to sign a long-term contract. Then you're stuck with years of second-rate service. Hood Canal Communications delivers stunning HD, plus bundled savings on super-fast internet and home phone, with no long-term contracts. It's all backed by an exceptional team of local service professionals. No contracts, no nonsense, just great service. Don't get stuck with a contract. Visit hcc.net to learn more.
There's a lot going on these days at Maple Glen in Shelton. Come see for yourself by scheduling a tour to view apartments, the beautiful surroundings, activities, and the signature dining room. Maple Glen Senior Living Community, located just 20 minutes north of Olympia at 1700 North 13th Loop in Shelton. They're just feet away from the hospital, medical professionals, and pharmacies. Contact Teresa Gilman, 360-427-0300 to learn more about this exciting living community.
Cougar ball coming out of the timeout. Pressed a little bit of trouble for the Cougars. As Kaufman is in back court, throws it up to mid-court. That's Ashton. Ashton will drive to the bucket, stop in the paint. Triple teamed, kick it out. Kaufman with three, no. Rebound pulled down by Powell. Powell will get it out of the pack, throw it all the way up to Katie Johnson. Deflected, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the High-Climbers. Not tracking rebounds, but Powell has had pretty much every rebound, and it's come down defensively. Inbounds goes to Garens. Garens to Ware. Ware back to Johnson. Johnson turns from the corner and shoots a three that's short, and it goes over the backboard out of bounds. .252 to go here, first quarter, 15-1. Shelton out in front quickly. Inbounds goes to Francisco. She's going to try and bring it up, but she's fouled on the dribble. Looks like Griffin will pick up her first. Yep. And Jazz will give a rest as Jordan Peterson is on the court for Shelton. Going to be sideline, backcourt inbounds for the Cougars. Kaufman will bring it across. Throws it over to Francisco. Francisco dribbles to the top, stops and pops. Hits the glass and goes in. First basket from the floor for the Cougars. There's Ware with it. To Peterson, fakes the three, drives into the paint. Kick it out to Powell. Powell for three, full opposite side. That goes in. Kylan Powell with her first three of the ball game. Here come the Cougars. Francisco stops at the elbow, puts it up, missed it short, rebound tracked down in the corner, goes out of bounds. They'll say it'll be Cougar ball.
Into the ball game is number 22,
Grace Grimstead will step on for the Cougars. She is 6'3". You have Taya Gooley and Lexi Moon stepping on for the High-Climbers. Inbounds is Lindblom. She dribbled it off her foot, chases it to midcourt to get it. High post feed, no go there as Peterson comes away with an errant pass. And here comes Ware. Up to Gooley. Gooley to Ware, top of the key for three. Nope, little off. Rebound Moon, back to Ware. Ware for three again. No, Ware gets the rebound, but she's fouled. That'll be baseline inbounds for the High-Climbers on the 5th team foul on Capital. That'll go on Kara Ashton, her second. High-Climbers will inbounds it to the right of the backboard. And a 30-second timeout has been called. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
If you are interested in how our local government works, Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, gives you the opportunity to watch our elected officials in action. Every Tuesday, you can watch the Mason County Commission. These live broadcasts air at 9 a.m., except on the fourth Tuesday of a month when the County Commission meets at 6 p.m. You can also watch the County Commissioners online at your leisure or tune into a rebroadcast on Hood Canal Communications local channel. Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is the only place to find this type of in-depth coverage.
Back at the Mini-Dome. It'll be Shelton ball, baseline inbounds when play resumes. It'll be Gooley triggering the play. Inbounds goes to Powell, back to Gooley. Gooley, one dribble out of the pack there. Bounce it over to Peterson. Peterson, and a steal by Francisco. She'll go coast to coast, lay it up and in. We did have substitution. I'm trying to track that down. Here's Gooley. Over to Johnson. Johnson cross court, partially deflected, and here come the Cougars. That's Ashton with it on the baseline. Up top to Kaufman. Down to Chamberlain. Out it goes to Francisco. Francisco bouncing back to Kaufman. Turnaround jumper, however, goes to Chamberlain. She's fouled. That'll be 14 fouls on Shelton. Personal foul will go on Kaufman, I believe. That'll be your first. No, actually it's not being Kaufman. It's on Peterson. And Chamberlain is 2 for 3 at the free throw line. Got the second one as well. Comes Gooley with the ball. To Peterson, Peterson to Moon. Ball goes free, and another turnover on the High-Climbers. Here comes Kaufman. Kaufman dances her way to the far side three-point arc. Down to the baseline. And putting it up and in is, who is that? That is, that was Ashton, her first basket plus the foul. Can't complete the three-point play. Rebound goes to Powell. Powell with the ball. Down to Peterson. Peterson out to Moon. Moon jumper on the baseline. Out rattled out. Rebound pulled down by Grimstead. And they got the Cougars. Francisco to Kaufman. Kaufman over to Ashton. Ashton with 17 to work in the quarter. Travel, but Francisco gets a pass. Stops, pops, misses. Rebound goes tracking down. Actually, going to let it go out of bounds. And it'll be High-Climber ball with 7.4 seconds to go. Inbounds to Gooley. Taya to the midcourt. Over to Johnson, little floater, doesn't fall, and that'll be the end of the first, but a big first quarter for the High-Climbers. They're up 18-9. They led by 15 early. We'll be right back. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
I lost my mother to a drunk driver. She taught me to be kind and good and strong. Be a positive force in a sometimes cruel world. I want to do everything I can to keep Washington a beautiful place. For my children, for your children. Become a Washington State Trooper.
Emerging science indicates access to high-speed internet during the school years can lead to positive outcomes, including, but not limited to, streamlined acquisition of data, academic achievement, career advancement, satisfying relationships, cuter children, joy. Our scientific conclusion? Call now and get the HCC Internet and Voice Bundle for the everyday low price of $44.95. Call today and save.
Cougar ball to start the second quarter, trailing by 9. We'll come out with Kaufman, Francisco, Ashton, Grimstead, and Chamberlain. Kaufman with the ball far side. Francisco between the circles. Kind of drive on Gooley. Stops and swings it over to Chamberlain. Chamberlain trying to dribble penetrate. Back to Francisco. Francisco fakes the three. Stops the side of the paint. Puts it up short but dropped in. High-Climbers with the ball. Peterson's fouled. There'll be 16 fouls on the Cougars. Up here first. Goes on Francisco. Lindblom returns for the Cougars. And Adams will also step back on. For the High-Climbers, Timber Ware's back in there. Inbounds, Peterson will get it to Powell. Powell cross court to Ware. Ware extra pass to Moon. And then down it goes to Powell. Powell in traffic finds Peterson. Out it goes to Johnson. Johnson for three at the top. Yes. 5 points for Katie. Cougars coming back quickly. There's Lindblom. Down to Ashton. Fadeaway doesn't fall in. Actually, that was it was Ashton. She's fouled on her shot. That'll be... Oh, wait a minute. What was that? It was a turnover. Hannah Chamberlain with an offensive foul. And 17 fouls on the Cougars. So it's 1 and 1, 1 plus the bonus for Lexi Moon. Got the first one. We'll get another one. Second free throw, that one also rattles in. Inbounds. There comes Francisco. Francisco steps back because Moon was there, denying her access. And a near steal. Oh, it is a steal by Ware. Finds Johnson. Johnson has a 2-on-3 and a 2-on-4. Wisely turns around. Oh, she'll get Peterson. Peterson trying to get it to Moon. Moon off the glass. No. Powell with the rebound. Kick it out. Peterson fakes the three, steps to the side of the paint, finds Powell, but I think we have 3 seconds in the key. Yes, we do. 6:32 to go here in the half. 23-11. Shelton leads. Kaplan with the ball. Francisco with it in backcourt. Loses the handle, and then she's going to be fouled by Timber Ware, I believe. 16 fouls on Shelton and 2 on Timber. Inbounds, here comes Adams. Bounce it over to Francisco. Francisco turned around by Ware, and a pass goes over to Lindblom. Lindblom's jumper falls off. Rebound, Ashton with a putback. 4 points for Kyra. It's a 10-point lead for Shelton. Here comes Johnson the other way. There's Ware. Lob it back to Johnson. And it's Peterson. Peterson driving baseline, finds Powell. Powell puts it up, lays that one in. 5 points for Kylan. And nice steal and by Peterson to Johnson. She'll lay it off the glass and in. There's Adams coming the other way. Bounce it over to Ashton, and a kick ball is called. Taya Gooley will step on. She'll go get Timber Ware, and Deshea Littleson will step on for the first time tonight. Powell will get a much deserved rest, and yeah. And Henry steps back on for Capital, going right to the hoop, laying it off the glass, but a little too hard was Lindblom, but she gets the rebound off a deflection. Her shot doesn't fall. Rebound on the baseline. That's pulled down by Adams. Adams will get it to Henry. Henry will turn around and set the offense for the Cougars. Bounce it over to Adams. Adams leaves it for Henry. Henry one hands it back to Adams, working on this near side. 8 on the shot clock. Stops, and Johnson with a block, but it falls into the hands of Chamberlain. She can't get the fall. Got the ball back and missed it again. Lexi Moon comes away with that rebound. Here comes Taya Gooley. Cross to Peterson. Peterson to the foul line. Nice pass down to Gooley to Moon, Littleson. Up top to Moon for, no, that's Peterson for 3. Her first basket of the night. Let's say 30-13 lead for Shelton. Comes Henry, trying to change direction. Near side to Adams. Adams fakes baseline, goes to foul line, stops. Hooks it to Lindblom, put along in there, her first basket tonight. 15-point lead now for the High-Climbers. Comes Gooley. Out to Johnson. Johnson for 3, yes. Katie with her second 3 in the quarter. There's Henry. Actually, Lindblom. She'll get it up to Henry, overthrows, but it bounces over to Ashton. Ashton well, it's on the trailer. It was Henry with the 2 on that one. Johnson up to Peterson, far side. She's bumped and fouled. Ashton just picked up her 3rd personal. Kaufman back in there to replace her. Kayla Garens will step on for Shelton at the same time. Lexi Moon will sit down at the free throw line. Is Jordan Peterson. She has 2 free throws. Or is it 1 and 1? Excuse me. Should be a 1 plus the bonus. She hits it. But she didn't. Rebound pulled down by the Cougars. Lindblom will bring it up, trying to go coast to coast. Puts it up, blocked out of bounds by Littleson, I believe. And let's see here. Alina Ingholm will step on for the first time tonight for Capital. Baseline inbounds for the Cougars. Adams will trigger the play. Had the ball kicked away by Gooley. And we'll reset it from the same spot. Adams will bounce it in. There's Lindblom driving to the hoop, puts it up, no. Rebound trailing in there is Henry. Henry gets it out, and Adams will track it down. In the corner to Henry. Bounce it to to Lindblom. She lost the handle, and here comes Peterson. Peterson lobs it to Gooley, bounces it back to Johnson. Johnson cross court to Littleson. Littleson sets her feet for three. Nope. Rebound. Garen's had it knocked out. And it'll go off of Garen's out of bounds. 2:47 to go in the half. 33-17. Shelton with the lead. Capital with the ball. Henry will bounce it into Lindblom. Lindblom will get it up to Kaufman. Kaufman, nice extra pass down to Adams, and then she missed the shot, and then it'll be a foul on Kaufman, I believe. Nope, it will just be out of bounds. It'll be a Highclimber ball. Gooley slowing the pace down, crossing midcourt, changing directions, throws over the corner to Johnson. Johnson for three from the far side. Yes! 3 threes in the quarter. And that is Henry with the ball. She's going to drive to the hoop, put it up, popped out, rebound Johnson. Katie trapped and spins out of that trap. Center of the court now. Throws it over to Peterson. Peterson's going to drive to the hoop. Little runner comes up short. Rebound pulled down by Lindblom. And here come the Cougars. There's Henry back to Lindblom. Lindblom stops side of the paint. Blocked, to partially blocked. Gooley comes up with it. She'll throw it up to Johnson. Her pass inside is deflected and stolen away. Here comes Henry. And the ball rolls out of bounds. That'll be a Highclimber ball. Griffin, Powell, and Ware will step back onto the court. So let's see here. Nope, Gooley will stay on. Okay, so it's Ware, Garens, Griffin, Gooley, and Powell. Gooley gets the ball at midcourt. Minute 28 to go here in the half. Highclimbers leading 36-17. Griffin with it in baseline. Back to Ware. Ware for three, about 2 feet beyond the arc. She'll nail that. It's her second three of the ball game. And here come the Cougars. Henry gets by the trap. Bounces it out into Kaufman to Lindblom. Lindblom back to Kaufman. Kaufman over to Ingholm. Now that's Francisco. Francisco, extra pass there, 8 on the shot clock, and Lindblom launches a shot, missed it, rebound goes to Garens. Garens pushes it up the court to Powell, back to Ware. Ware to the foul line to Powell, in the paint. 4 people on her, stripped of the ball, ball's free. And now what do we have here? Whistle underneath. And that'll be a jump ball called, so that'll be a Highclimber ball with 38.6 seconds to go in the half. Leading 39-17. Inbounds to Garens. Francisco knocked it away as he tried to get it up to Ware. It'll be sideline inbounds for Shelton this time. Ware will trigger it. Gives it into Gooley. Taya. Hook it over to Ware, far side. Eyes the hoop for three. In and out. Rebound tapped. Francisco pulled it down. Here come the Cougars. Out it goes. Henry for three at the top. That's short. Rebound goes out of bounds. That'll be Highclimber ball. 19.2 seconds to go in the half. 39-17 is the score. Shelton with the lead in the ball. Here comes Gooley. Over to Jasmine Griffin. Griffin to Timber Ware. Back to Griffin. Over to Ware up top to Powell. There's Gooley now. To Powell, and time ran out on the half. But the Highclimbers with a good first half head into the break with a 39-17 lead. Well, this is Mason Webb TV, powered by HCC. We'll be right back. As Mason Webb, we'll be back with the Maple Glen Senior Living halftime report, or halftime show, I should say. We'll be right back.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights,
Vests. Or reflectors.
please give us some room. Slow down and move over. When you need us,
We've got your back.
you have ours.
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back? Please, slow down.
And move over.
There's a lot going on these days at Maple Glen in Shelton. Maple Glen has a Sunday brunch, open to the community with free admittance when you schedule a tour. What a great way to learn more about this beautiful senior living community. Maple Glen Senior Living, located just 20 minutes north of Olympia at 1700 North 13th Loop in Shelton. They're just feet away from the hospital, medical professionals, and pharmacies. Contact Teresa Gilman at 360-427-0300 to learn more and schedule a visit to Maple Glen.
If you're interested in how our local government works, Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, gives you the opportunity to watch our elected officials in action. Every Monday, you can watch the Shelton City Commission. These live broadcasts air at 6 p.m. on the first and third Monday of each month and at 2 p.m. on the other Mondays. However, you can watch the City Commissioners online at your leisure or tune into a rebroadcast on Hood Canal Communications' local channel. Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is the only place to find this type of in-depth coverage.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Halftime here at the Mini Dome. Shelton Lady-Highclimbers leading the Lady Cougars from Capital, 39-17. This is the Maple Glen Senior Living halftime show. A couple of statistics here to throw out. Leading the way for the Highclimbers, Katie Johnson, 13 points. She hit 3 threes in the second. Timber Ware has a dozen points there. She has a couple of threes, one in each quarter. 5 for Kyland Powell, 4 for Kayla Garens, 2 free throws for Lexi Moon. That's how the scoring goes for the Highclimbers. For the Cougars, they're being led by Angelica Francisco. She has 6 points. Kyra Ashton has 4. 3 of 4 free throws for Hannah Chamberlain, and a bucket for Reagan Henry, and a bucket for Nicole Lindblom. Another thing to pass along, turnovers. I have 7 for the Cougars and 5 for the Highclimbers. Not a factor, although there were a couple of steals that did kind of change things there. So we're 6.5 minutes or so away from the third quarter. And we will have we'll take another timeout. We'll be right back. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, and you're watching the Maple Glen Senior Living halftime show. We'll be back with more from the Mini Dome.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I admit, I did try another TV provider. It sounded like a great deal, but I quickly realized it wasn't. When I read the fine print, I was locked into a long-term contract with a huge cancellation fee. So I came back to HCC. They're more reliable, the service is local, and I save, bundling internet and phone with them too. And I'm a lot happier now.
Great service from a local company. Stay with HCC.
There's a lot going on these days at Maple Glen in Shelton. Come see for yourself by scheduling a tour to view apartments, the beautiful surroundings, activities, and the signature dining room. Maple Glen Senior Living Community, located just 20 minutes north of Olympia at 1700 North 13th Loop in Shelton. They're just feet away from the hospital, medical professionals, and pharmacies. Contact Teresa Gilman, 360-427-0300 to learn more about this exciting living community.
If you are interested in how our local government works, Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, gives you the opportunity to watch our elected officials in action. Every Monday you can watch the Shelton City Commission, while you can catch the Mason County Commission every Tuesday. These are live broadcasts, but you can also watch them online at your leisure or tune into a rebroadcast on Hood Canal Communications local channel. Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, your source for local information.
And we're back here at the Mini Dome. Halftime score, as you see there, 39 for Shelton, 17 for Capital. So we're about a little less than 4 minutes ago here through the halftime period. A lot of pressure. Seemed to be pressured from the get-go. Seemed to be the difference here for the High-Climbers, forcing some turnovers and taking advantage of that and leaving very little time for the Cougars to set up their offense. So let's see here. Friday, we'll be back here in the Mini Dome, and it'll be the boys' turn to take the court as they host North Thurston in a South Sound Conference matchup for the boys. And tip-off in the Mini Dome on Friday night is 7 o'clock. We'll be on hand for that. On Saturday, it's a doubleheader of North Mason basketball from Belfair as Cross Point. The ladies and the boys will be taking on, will be up in Belfair for that one, for both those games. So we'll be back with the third quarter in just a moment. This is the Maple Glen Senior Living halftime show. We'll be back with the third quarter shortly.
Welcome to the Maple Glen Senior Living Resident Spotlight. Meet Harrison Pinky Newharth.
This used to be bright red.
He was dubbed Pinky while working at the shipyard.
Some guy called me Pinky, and it stuck. And I've had it ever since 1940.
Pinky handled blueprints at the shipyard.
We had one guy in there that I used to play tennis with. Come to find out, he was a spy. And they came in one day when I was sitting there, and they arrested him right in the office.
He spent some time in the military before retiring as a Seattle City bus driver.
22 and a half years. Had one chargeable accident in that length of time.
Pinky has been married for 61 years.
I proposed to her on the end of February after meeting her, just going with her for just a month.
They built a house on Lake Cushman.
All with volunteer labor, with lots of beer to keep them satisfied.
Pinky moved into Maple Glen in 2012. If he's not on his computer, you can find Pinky calling Bingo.
Call Bingo here twice a week.
To schedule a tour and meet residents like Pinky, call Maple Glen at 360-427-0300.
It may not seem fast or close to you, but 100 times a day we leave our office and put ourselves only a door away. An average of 2 patrol cars are struck and 1 trooper injured every month. It's Washington law that you slow down or move over when you see emergency lights ahead. We ask that while we're out here getting you and your family home safe every night, you help us get home safe to our families. Slow down and move over.
And we are waiting for the start of the third quarter. Looks like it will be Cougar ball to start out the quarter. The High Climbers, however, are going to have Griffin, Gerrans, Powell, Ware and Johnson defensively. And for the Cougars, it's Kaufman, Henry, Adams, Chamberlain, and it looks like Lindeblum. So here we're about ready to go here. Got to get the ball from the scorer's table. Kaufman will inbounds it from midcourt. They change direction. As Kaufman will get it in, and here comes Lindblom. Lindblom turnaround jumper at the foul line elbow, missed it. Gerrans with the rebound. Out it goes to Johnson. Here come the Highclimbers. Quickly up it goes to Ware. Ware stops, pops, snakes that one in. 14 points for Timber. Here comes Adams bringing the ball up for the Cougars. Over goes to Henry. It's a screen and goes to the foul line. Turn around on that dribble. High dribble and dribble it off her leg out of bounds. That'll be 8 turnovers on the Cougars. So here comes Katie Johnson for Shelton. Trying to set the play. Bounce it over near side. Timber Ware thought about a 3, drives baseline, hooks a pass out. Powell turns around for 3. That's a little off. Rebound. Gerrans had it, got it, finds Ware. Ware up top to Powell. Powell eyes the hoop, dribbles to the foul line. No looks it to Ware. Ware takes a jab step, goes over to Johnson. Johnson off the side at Griffin. Griffin 3 on the way. It's off. Rebound pulled down by the Cougars. Kaufman. Kaufman having some trouble. Kelly tripped and fouled. That'll be first team foul on Shelton in the half. It'll be on Jazz. It will be. Jasmine Griffin with her 3rd personal. So Jordan Peterson's quickly up off the bench to check in. So it'll be sideline inbounds. Kaufman just below us will trigger the play. 41-17 is a score. Some garbage on the floor that Kayla Gerrans takes care of. And the inbounds goes to Adams. Goes over to Kaufman. Kaufman drives baseline on Ware. Nice find to Adams. Adams threw the ball and Powell comes up with it. Kylan threw it to Ware. Ware open for 3. Nope. Rebound knocked out of bounds by the Cougars, but they're going to say it went off of Powell. (41-17) is the score. 3rd quarter just underway. Henry crosses midcourt. High post feed to Chamberlain, back to Henry, into the corner. And that's Adams. Adams down to Kaufman. Kaufman trying to turn around hook it in over Ware. Ware gets a piece of Kaufman. Should be 3 on Timber. Yep, that's 3 on her.
Second team foul.
Kaufman's first free throws off.
Number 41, Captain Kaufman.
Matea Gooley will step on for Timber. So Timber and Jasmine in foul trouble tonight. Second free throw off. Rebound pulled down by Peterson. Her outlet is nearly stolen away, but Powell comes away with it. Down to Gooley. Gooley out to Peterson. Peterson had to go get that ball. Here's Johnson. Here's Gooley with it. Back to Johnson. Johnson for 3. Yes. Katie Johnson for their 4th 3 of the night. Here comes a Lindblom, excuse me. And the ball is on the floor, and it looks like Kaufman will be fouled by a Highclimber. There were a couple in the area. That'll go on Katie Johnson, her 2nd.
Katie Johnson, that is her 2nd. That's the 3rd team foul.
Adams will trigger the play for the Cougars, bounces it in to Kaufman, back to Adams. Adams will drive on Gooley, get out to Lindblom, and up to Henry. Henry bounces it to the baseline, and a nice drive up and in goes Hannah Chamberlain. And here comes Katie Johnson to Gooley. Gooley lobs it over to Peterson. Peterson drives baseline, stops, swing it up to Johnson. Johnson way outside. Now Gooley has it. Nice lane for Taya, puts it up and missed it. Garens with the rebound, put it up and missed it. Got it again. Kick it out to Johnson. Johnson for three again. No. Rebound off the head of Kaufman, out of bounds, but they're going to go, it'll win off of Highclimber. .444 to go, third quarter. 44-19 is the score. Shelton on top, Capital with the ball. Here comes Henry. Henry's going to drive right to the hoop, put it up. Oh, didn't fall in. Powell can't handle the rebound. Then she finally tracks it down. Here she comes, far sidelines. Get over to Peterson. Peterson to the foul line, lost the handle, but it goes right to Kayla Garens, and she'll put it up and in. 6 points for Kayla, and it's 46-19. Here comes Kaufman. Slapped out of her hands from behind by Peterson. Sideline inbounds for Capital, right in front of their bench. Henry will trigger the play. Fakes the pass down low and gets it in near midcourt to Kaufman. Kaufman bounces it down to Adams on the baseline. To Kaufman. Kaufman eyes the hoop for three. Off the glass, no. Rebound, Powell. Powell launches it up to Johnson. Johnson alone to the hoop, off the glass and in. Katie with, 18 points? Kaufman dances away across. Nearly had the same, nearly lost it twice there. Rolls over to Henry. That's over to Kaufman, working on the far side. Back to Henry. Henry to three-point arc. Back to Kaufman. Kaufman dribbles to the foul line, opposite side now, stops, looking for Adams. 5 on the shot clock. And then what do we have? A traveling call on Kaufman. I have 9 turnovers on Capital. Lexi Moon up off the Highclimber bench. She'll get Kayla Garnes. Taya Gooley brings the ball across midcourt for Shelton off the turnover. Setting the offense for the Highclimbers. Gooley stops down the three-point arc, gets it to Moon. That's Powell. Powell try to get it past to Peterson. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll be baseline inbounds for the Highclimbers. Francisco and Ashton return for the Cougars. Sitting down is Henry and Adams. And Deshea Littleson will step on for Shelton. It's Highclimber ball, baseline inbounds. Peterson inbounds to Gooley, back to Peterson in the corner. Pushes it over to Gooley. Gooley to Deshea Littleson, opposite side to Johnson. Johnson looking for Moon. Moon on the box, far time. Turnaround, missed it. Rebound, Peterson. Bounce it out to Gooley, up to Littleson, over to Johnson. Johnson for three, the other side, no. Rebound, tracked down by Gooley. Gooley, nice little move there on the dribble. Finds Littleson, top of the key for three. Deshea! Her first bucket of the night. Comes Coppin trying to come back the other way. Francisco with it, far side. Gets a screen to the top of the key now. Over to Coppin, far side. Puts on the floor, dribbles. Try to bounce it in, then we have a whistle away from the ball. That'll go on the Highclimbers, I believe. Yes. That'll be 4 personals, or 4 team fouls, excuse me.
Fouls on Katie Johnson.
Johnson just picked up her third.
14 foul on the Highclimber.
Baseline inbounds for the Cougars. Inbounds goes to Lindblad. Her shot falls off, but there to clean it up, put it up and in is Kyra Ashton. 6 points for her. 30-point lead for the Highclimbers. Ball into the corner to Johnson. Back to Cooley, knocked out of bounds by Francisco. Baseline inbounds for Shelton, 2:02 to go, third quarter. Cooley will trigger the play. From the right of the backboard. Lob it in to Moon. Spins around, gets it to Peterson. Peterson to Littleson. Littleson over to Moon, hands it off to Cooley. Stolen away by Francisco. Francisco is going to go right to the bucket, lay it off the glass and in. 8 points for Angelica. Comes Katie Johnson the other way quickly. Down it goes to Moon. And let's see, Chamberlain was standing, was it Chamberlain? Yes, it was Chamberlain, standing out of bounds, but she grabbed hold of that ball. It'll be baseline inbounds for the High-Climbers. And Madeline Cognazzo will step on for the Cougars. Baseline inbounds for Shelton. Johnson gets it into Moon. And it's another steal by Francisco. She'll lay it up and in. Katie Johnson will bring it across the timeline, and they'll hit pass to Gooley down low, and another steal by the Cougars, or near steal. It's deflection, and it'll be a jump ball called, I do believe. And it'll stay, excuse me, it'll stay with the High-Climbers. Katie Johnson will trigger the play from the right of the backboard. Lob it into Moon. Back to Johnson in the corner. Fakes the three and dribbles up to the elbow. Cross court it goes to Peterson. Over to Littleson. Littleson to Gooley. To Johnson. 4 on the shot clock. Got to do something. Across the court, knocked out of bounds by long arms of Chamberlain. It'll be a sideline inbounds with a second on the shot clock. And let's see here. Stepping back on tonight, Grace Grimstead will step on for the Cougars again. So the High-Climbers have 1 second on the shot clock. The sideline inbounds. Peterson will trigger the play. Throw it into Moon. Turnaround falls short, and that actually goes over as a shot clock violation. So Kaufman will bring it up for Capital. Near side, that's Ashton. Ashton puts it on the floor, drives to the foul line, stops, gets it over to Cognasso. And there's Ashton with a jumper. That's off. Rebound pulled down by Kaufman. Kaufman trying to get it in the middle. And Cognasso draws the foul on the High-Climbers. Moon just picked up her first personal, and there's 5 team fouls on Shelton. Cognasso missed the first free throw. She'll get another one. That one will drop in. Comes Taya Gooley with the ball. To Katie Johnson. 22 on the game clock. Moon with 3, no. Rebound bounces to Cognasso, to Ashton. Ashton gonna go one-on-one on Johnson. Stripped of the ball out of bounds. Nice defense by Katie. 11.5 seconds to go in the third quarter. 51-26. 25-point lead for the High-Climbers. Cougars with a baseline inbounds. Kaufman will trigger the play into the corner to Francisco. Gonna try and step back for 3. No. Rebound. Cognasso puts it up and in. So we're through 3 quarters. Shelton is up 51-28. We'll head to the fourth. And I'll be right back. It's Mason Web TV powered by HCC.
The living room. It's a great place to watch TV. Just like your backyard, break time at the office, or waiting for your ride. Now you can watch TV everywhere. Stream your favorite shows or live TV from many channels in your cable package on any computer, tablet, or smartphone. It's all included in Hood Canal Communications TV service for no extra cost. Sign up to watch TV everywhere today. Call or visit Hood Canal Communications online to learn more.
There's a lot going on these days at Maple Glen in Shelton. Maple Glen has a Sunday brunch open to the community with free admittance when you schedule a tour. What a great way to learn more about this beautiful senior living community. Maple Glen Senior Living, located just 20 minutes north of Olympia at 1700 North 13th Loop in Shelton. They're just feet away from the hospital, medical professionals, and pharmacies. Contact Teresa Gilman at 360-427-0300 to learn more and schedule a visit to Maple Glen.
It is start of the fourth quarter. The Cougars will start out with the ball. They have Kaufman. They'll get it into Francisco. Ashton. Let's see here. That's Grimstead. And Cognasso. And there's Ashton driving into the paint, stopping and popping off the glass and in for Kyra. 8 points for her. Griffin up to Ware. Waits for the pack to go by, finds Littleson. Littleson at the top to Powell. Powell put it on the floor, drive. Going to bounce it over to Garens, off the glass and in. Kayla Garens with 8 points tonight. Comes Kaufman the other way. That's Ashton to Kaufman in the corner, near side. Trapped in the corner, spins out, but I believe it's going to be a little bump on Kylan Powell. Our first sixth team foul on Shelton. There are no fouls on the Cougars in the half. So it'll be baseline inbounds for the Cougars. Kaufman will trigger the play left of the backboard. The size in there for the Cougars. Inbounds to Francisco. 3 in the corner and spins in. 13 points for Angelica. Ware has the inbounds near midcourt. Slowly jogs up the court. Stops, pops for 3, in and out. Rebound goes to Kaufman. Lost it to Karen. She'll put it up and in. 10 points for Kayla. Comes Kaufman the other way for the Cougars. Kaufman directing some traffic to Ashton near side. To Francisco. Francisco will dribble up top now. Find Ashton. Ashton on the dribble. 10 on the shot clock. Actually, it's 8 now. Down to Cognasso. Cognasso launches up the prayer, falls off. Littleson with the rebound. Oh, and the Deshea thought to go long. Saw that the was nobody to throw it to, and she gets called for the travel. And I have 9 turnovers on Shelton. Just better get back to the pack here. Baseline inbounds for Kaufman. Far side 3, no fake to Francisco. She'll step by the defense and stick one. 16 points for Francisco. And a timeout has been called. It's a 30. We'll take one. We'll be right back. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Now back at the mini dome. 6:16 to go here in the ball game. 55-36 is our score. High-Climbers have the ball. Jasmine Griffin will get it into Timber Ware and get it right back. Here come the High-Climbers. Jasmine to Timber. Timber back to Jasmine in the corner. And she stepped on the sideline or the end line there, and there's 10 turnovers on Shelton. Reagan Henry will step back onto the court for the Cougars. And Kaufman will sit down. Here comes the pressure from the High-Climbers, as Jasmine Griffin will be getting the duty of guarding Francisco, and Jasmine poked that ball away. Francisco had, well, she has 16 points to lead the Cougars and has 10 in a half. Henry inbounds it, goes into Cognasso, and a steal of the ball, near steal of the ball, and a jump ball called. That'll be a high climber ball. Hannah Chamberlain will step back onto the court for the Cougars. Powell inbounds it for the High Climbers. We'll set those lineups in a moment. Inbounds goes to Griffin, and Griffin will bring it across. Changing direction. Gonna go lob it down to Powell, pushed from behind. That's the first foul on the Cougars in the half. And that will go on Kira Ashton. That's her fourth personal. Inbounds to Ware, back to Powell. Powell for the three, missed it. Deshea Littleson stripped of the ball, trying to put it back off the rebound. Powell tied up the ball there, and jump ball called. That'll go back over to the Cougars, trailing 55-36. 5:45 to go in the ball game. Inbounds goes to Grimstead, back to Henry. Henry will bring it up for the Cougars. That's Ashton with it. Dribbles to the foul line. Nobody blocked her until Littleson stepped in there. Missed the shot. Rebound goes to Powell. Powell up the far sideline. Stripped of the ball at midcourt. Ball's free. Littleson comes away with it. Here's Timber Ware down to Garen's, overthrew her out of bounds. 11 turnovers on Shelton. 10 on Capital. 5:19 to go in the ball game. 55-36 is our score. High Climbers are going full court press. Henry will get it in and get it right back. Ware on the defense, hands it off to Francisco. Francisco trying to get some space from Griffin. And Francisco's pass is knocked out of bounds, or out off the hands of Henry, actually. It'll be the 11th turnover on the Cougars. Lindblom will step back onto the court for Capital, replacing Grimstead. And here come the High Climbers. Powell with it. Stops on the dribble, lobs it up, and it's knocked away and stolen by Lindblom. She'll lay it off the end. 4 points for her, and a dozen turnovers on Shelton. Ware, top of the key, eyes the hoop for three. That goes in. Timber Ware, 17 points. Comes Henry up the far sidelines. Met by Ware. Hands it off to Francisco. Francisco trying to get a screen from Lindblom. Stops the foul line, back to Lindblom. Lindblom eyes the hoop for three, fakes it, drives down, stops in the box, puts it up. Oh, it popped out. Rebound. Henry had it, knocked it out of bounds. And that'll go over to the High Climbers. Adams steps onto the court for Cougars. Peterson will return for the High Climbers. So it's Griffin Ware who has the ball, Powell, Garens, and Peterson on the court for Shelton. Peterson with the ball, overplayed. Nice little extra pass down to Garens. Garens is going to be fouled in the middle of the paint. That'll be the second team foul on Capital. And that will go on Reagan Henry, her third. Baseline inbounds to Ware. Ware spins, knocked out of her hands, but goes to Griffin. Griffin to Peterson. Peterson trying to punch it down to Powell, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Climber ball. 3:55 to go here in the ball game. 58-38. Shelton with the lead and the rock. Inbounds goes to Powell. Back to Peterson. Peterson to Powell, open for three. Nope. But Garens is there, puts it up, misses it. Griffin will put it up and in, and she gets the foul. You want to know something? That's the first points for Jasmine in the ball game.
The foul is on number
Angelica Francisco picked up her second, and Jasmine Griffin has a possible three-point play for the Highclimbers. Nope, she's 0 for 3, but Garen's had the ball, lost it. It'll go out of bounds, and that should be Cougar ball. Callie Kaufman will return back for the Cougars. Francisco will sit down. Henry inbounds it to Lindblom. Gets it back to Kaufman in backcourt. Up it goes to Henry. Henry, center of the court now, in the front court, changing direction. Over goes to Kaufman. Kaufman will drive baseline. Up top it goes. 3 on the way at the top. No. Rebound tapped out. It'll go off of Cougar, out of bounds, a Highclimber ball. (60-38), 3:25 to go here in the ball game. Shelton with the lead and the ball. Comes Peterson the other way. Near side to Ware spins right to the hoop. Ooh, can't finish, but the ball is pulled down by Griffin. Griffin, they're going to call a foul on the Cougars. And Jazz is back to the line. Lindblom picked up her first. So Jasmine Griffin at the free throw line. She's 0 for 3. Make it 0 for 4. She'll get another one. Helena Ingholm will step on, and Chamberlain will sit down for the Cougars. Griffin has another free throw for Shelton. Short on the second one. Rebound pulled down by Lindblom. Tied up by Powell, I believe, and it's a jump ball, and that'll go over to the Highclimbers. So Griffin will trigger the play from the left of the backboard. Inbounds goes to Powell. Powell back to Griffin. Griffin one hands it back to Powell. Powell's the foul line to the hoop. Big jump stop, puts it up. Oh, it popped out. Rebound, ping pongs around. Griffin has it, and another jump ball, and that will go over to the Cougars. 2:59 to go here in the ball game. 60-38 is the score. Another full court press by the Highclimbers. Henry will trigger the play. Bounce it into Lindblom. Cross court it goes to Ingholm, and then back to Henry. Henry with the ball. Bounce it over. That's Adams back in the ball game. She's going to be fouled by Peterson. Second personal on Jordan. That'll be 17 foul on the Highclimbers. That's a 1+ the bonus. So Ashley Adams has not scored tonight. She's at the line for the first of 1-1. 2:44 to go, ball game. 60-38. First free throw, that goes in. She'll get another one.
And she's shooting the bonus.
The lead is trimmed down now. 21. Make it to 20.
Bonus shot, also good. Ashley Adams.
And here comes Jordan Peterson. To Powell, back to Peterson. Over to Powell. To Peters. Actually, there's Timber Ware with it now. Timber will bring the ball up. Top of the key to Peterson. 10 on the shot clock. There's Powell. Faked outside Green's baseline. Finds Griffin. Griffin with a fadeaway. No. Rebounds goes to Peterson. Peterson to Powell. Powell underneath. Missed the shot. Rebound goes to Lindblom. And here comes Kaufman. Kaufman hits it back. And there's Henry. Henry overplayed. He's going to bounce it over to Lindblom. Lindblom stops the paint, puts it up and in. 6 points for Nicole. There's Ware with it, far side. Beyond the three-point arc to Griffin. Griffin open for 3. Nope. Powell with the rebound. Foul trying to put it up and in. 5 team fouls now on the Cougars. that'll go on Kaufman. That's her second. No, it's her first. It's her first? It is her first, okay. It's at the line. Kylan Powell. Missed the first one. She'll get another one.
Shooting a second attempt.
And it goes in. Henry at the far sidelines. Dances along the in line. Recovered, though, by Griffin. Griffin gets it up to Peterson, and Powell puts it up and in and draws the foul.
Count the basket.
Go on Kaufman, because it went on Kaufman her second. So Powell at the line for possible three-point play. Nope. Rebound Griffin. Griffin hooks it to Powell. Powell back it up and in. Kaufman with it, or not, Henry actually. Over to Lindblom. She'll take the open jumper. No. Rebound. Back to Lindblom. She'll go right back to the hoop, put it up and in. Timberware down to Powell. Powell drives baseline. Garens puts it up, but she's fouled. Kayla to the line. She's 10 points tonight. And who's the personal foul on? Oh, they went on Helena Engholm, her first. Kayla hits the first free throw. Give her 11 points. Cognasso will step back onto the court for the Cougars. And so does Ashton. Kaufman and Lindblom will sit down. So Kayla Garens is another free throw for Shelton. Got it. Here's Adams with the ball. Looking for Henry. Throws it to Cognasso. It's stolen away by Garens. Garens up to Griffin. Griffin to the hoop. Up and in. .35 seconds and counting on the clock. Adams with it for the Cougars. Bounce it to Ashton. Ashton to Henry. She'll drive to the hoop. Put it up and in, and the foul. Oh, I guess there was no foul. Oh, it was after the shot. So hold on a second here. Ashton just fouled out, and she's still out there, and they're playing ball. And Peterson to Ware. Ware for three at the top. No. Rebound. Powell. Couple of dribbles. Set the play to Peterson. Peterson to the foul line to Garens. Garens puts it up and in at the buzzer. And that'll be the final there. 71-46 our final. Shelton Lady-Highclimbers knock off the Capital Lady Cougars tonight. And we'll take a timeout. We'll be back. This is Mason Web TV, powered by HCC. We'll be back to wrap this up in a moment.
You've seen the sign, keep right except to pass, but did you know it's the law? Camping out in the left lane makes you a slow-moving safety hazard. Moving to the right improves emergency response time and helps reduce collisions and traffic jams. Allowing faster-moving traffic to pass is always the best choice. Use the left lane to pass slower-moving or merging traffic, then return to your lane. Remember, keep right except to pass.
If you are interested in how our local government works, Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, gives you the opportunity to watch our elected officials in action. Every Tuesday, you can watch the Mason County Commission. These live broadcasts air at 9 a.m., except on the fourth Tuesday of a month when the County Commission meets at 6 p.m. You can also watch the County Commissioners online at your leisure or tune into a rebroadcast on Hood Canal Communications local channel. Mason Web TV, powered by HCC, is the only place to find this type of in-depth coverage.
The living room. It's a great place to watch TV. Just like your backyard, break time at the office, or waiting for your ride. Now you can watch TV everywhere. Stream your favorite shows or live TV from many channels in your cable package on any computer, tablet, or smartphone. It's all included in Hood Canal Communications TV service for no extra cost. Sign up to watch TV everywhere today. Call or visit Hood Canal Communications online to learn more.
There's a lot going on these days at Maple Glen in Shelton. Maple Glen has a Sunday brunch, open to the community with free admittance when you schedule a tour. What a great way to learn more about this beautiful senior living community. Maple Glen Senior Living, located just 20 minutes north of Olympia at 1700 North 13th Loop in Shelton. They're just feet away from the hospital, medical professionals, and pharmacies. Contact Teresa Gilman at 360-427-0300 to learn more and schedule a visit to Maple Glen.
Vehicle collisions are the #1 killer of teens in the U.S., taking 8 young lives every day. And speeding is a factor in more than half of teen fatal car crashes, but we can prevent these tragedies. Talk with your teen about staying safe behind the wheel. Remind them to follow the speed limit and adjust their driving for road conditions. Keep the conversation going and be the driver you want your teen to be. It's not just good parenting, it's a matter of life or death.
Well, it's a final here at the Mini Dome. Shelton Lady-Highclimbers knock off the Capital Cougars 71-46 tonight. And let's see here. Leading the way in scoring, Katie Johnson, 18 points. Timber Ware, 17 points. Kayla Garens finished with 14. Kylan Powell, 10. 4 for Jasmine Griffin, 3 each for Jordan Peterson and Shea Littleson, and a couple free throws for Lexi Moon. Taya Gooley did play but did not score, and as usual it looks like the Highclimbers went through their their whole lineup and everybody played, but only one didn't score. For the Cougars in a losing effort, Angelica Francisco led the way with 16 points, 8 apiece for Nicole Lindblom and Kira Ashton, 5 for Hannah Chamberlain, 4 for Reagan Henry, 3 for Madeline Cognasso, and 2 free throws for Ashley Adams. So that hands the Cougars their first loss. They are 2-1. The Highclimbers are now also 2-1, but the big part of that is Shelton is now 1-0 in the South Sound Conference play. So that is a good start for Shelton. And when you have 1, 2,